Hello.
Oh, there was no. Do we have to have it unmuted?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Hello. We're Justin and Ashley Louise. This is the off the cuff podcast show, and I'm all flummoxed because this one is a hot pile of hot mess this morning. Good
I
night.
had a baby, baby, baby. Oh, he just dropped a new album last night.
Oh my God, I don't care.
I'm just saying. It was in my. I just like off the puff.
Yeah. The way you're acting today, I wish. I got a little sunglass tan
Yeah, you
going.
do. Yeah, you do.
Fix that nonsense.
All right. Sometimes it's just how it goes in our
Episode
life.
70 something.
Yeah, episode. No. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Because we missed 69
I know. It might.
episode wise.
I think it's 74.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
They'll see the
really.
number when they listen to it.
Now we do need to make sure that we keep an eye out for the 100th episode.
Oh, we're going to screw that up. 100%. We'll make a big deal out of episode 101 because that's what we do, gang.
And that's, you know what? That's okay. You just roll through life and you define it on your terms.
Right.
Okay?
It's like that DMX song.
Make them say, oh, no, 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 no.
That's Master P, you ape.
Well, you're gonna call me an ape.
I hope y'all are entertained by this. Make sure that mic wasn't muted. That'd be
DMX.
terrible.
X gonna give it to you. Rest in peace, DMX.
Man.
Where are you even going with that?
Well, I was going to say I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time.
Not always there when you call. You know, there's a new game. There's a new game I saw because Instagram likes to just put stuff in front of you that somehow knows would be right up your alley. And I don't even know what all it comes with and what you have to provide. But, anyways, there's a microphone that you put in the middle of the table, and everybody sits or stands around the table. And then there's a card, and the card gets drawn, and on the card is a word. And so the person draws the card, and if they say the word, which is family, then you try to grab the mic first to sing a lyric that has the word family. So if it was family, I'd grab it and go, "We are family." How fun would that be?
Well,
I mean, it wouldn't be fun for some families.
It would be
into music.
It would be varying degrees of fun. It would be entertaining to video it to see how many times you got it wrong.
Never.
Okay, I said DMX and you started banging out Master P.
Okay, but that's still fun. Yeah, right.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The outtakes, the bloopers would be where it's at.
Anyway, so I want to get that game because it looks fun.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll put that on the list. Here, let me write that down on my notepad here.
I think I'm gonna belch. Entertaining.
You know, I try to bring a certain level of professionalism to this podcast. And then this one here, every episode, blowing her nose. This time she's gonna belch. Probably episode 100, she's gonna fart.
Oh no, I have control over that. Flatulence.
You know,
why is it such a funny word?
it's entertaining because you are frequently busting my chops about how immature and
Where it's coming from?
silly I am.
Tired, to be honest.
And then you say the word flatulence and about pee yourself.
You can't say it and not laugh.
I just did. Flatulence.
Flatulence.
She needs a damn nap, is what she needs. Because I can't deal with this all day.
Anyways.
Speaking of dealing with all day, today's going to be a long one.
Well, really?
Yeah. Because, so yesterday I had a torturous leg day. Today I had upper body, and I came home, drank my protein shake, ate my fruit right after my workout. And then before we recorded this, I ate my normal breakfast, my eggs, my oatmeal, and whatnot. And I'm not kidding you. As soon as I was done eating my eggs and oatmeal, I was like, I wish I'd ate breakfast because it felt like I had not
Not
eaten
have
anything.
anything.
So I'm going to be like starving all day, I think,
Makes the day
even
long.
though I eat a lot.
Right. I mean, you know, but that's part of it, right? Like that's part of the process. If you are in a place where you're working on specific goals, like hunger is going to be part of it, and
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think that sometimes we don't have to have the whole episode be about this, but I think sometimes food is so glamorized in our society, and the idea of you should not feel discomfort. I mean, let's be honest, like that's a theme, that's a thread that runs rampant throughout our society, that you should be comfortable.
Yeah, and we spent a whole episode talking about that. So
Hey, I'm
I don't
not
want to
just
dig into it too deep.
I
I'm
said
just,
hints.
woman, I'm having a conversation with you. I swear to
All I'm saying is like this idea of hunger, like it's like, oh my gosh, how will I ever? Like, it's fine. You'll be fine if you're working on goals, especially goals that require you to be in a deficit, that require you to, you know, work out intensely. Like, it's
well,
gonna happen, and you just have to like buck up, buttercup.
and that's the thing, right? Like right now, I'm not really in like a huge deficit,
Right. You're just intensely working.
right? And honestly, most days, like I'm like, oh, I gotta eat all this egg.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason today, it's like you need more, but I'm not gonna have more. I'm gonna stick to the plan.
You know, I
That's what we do here.
Well, and I saw a little clip from Sebum. If you don't know who Sebum is, he is like
If you don't know who Sebum is, get a life.
Mr. Olympia for like what, forever.
Quite a few times.
Uh he was asked about like how do you deal with crazy cravings, Sebum? And he was like, you just don't give in to them. And his response made my heart sing. And here's why. Because I do think we also live in a world where we believe there should always be like a formula, a strategy, an exact answer or solution to this perceived problem that we have, right?
Right.
That's somehow like complicated, or 3 steps or 5 steps or whatever. And sometimes the answer is like, just fucking do what you have to do.
Well, right. I was going to say, like, there is a strategy, there is a solution, and Uncle Justin's going to give it to you real quick. Okay.
I see what you did there. I'm trying to say it in the DMX voice. Uncle Justin's gonna get it.
Any Christmas. So between my hunger and her dumbass, it is going to be a long day. But here's the strategy when you're dealing with something like that, cravings, the desire to, make yourself comfortable when you shouldn't be. It's 4 little words. Don't, 5 little words.
Don't fucking.
Don't be a little bitch.
I mean, that works too. Or don't fucking do it.
Like, because listen, we've all got a little bitch inside of us
Yeah.
that wants to puss out at the first sign of conflict, of challenge, of struggle, of hunger, of whatever. And you can either give into that, or you can be like, nope, I'm not doing that today. And here's the deal: whichever direction you go, that part of your brain grows in strength. So every time you give in to that little weak voice inside your head that says, oh, do this or don't do that, or
Right.
whatever, like that little voice gets a little bit bigger.
Yep.
And then the next time it's harder to overcome that little voice.
Yeah.
But conversely, every time you fight that little voice, it gets a little smaller.
Well, yeah, and that was what he was saying too, is he was like, I live this way. And the more the more I was thinking of this as we were talking about our kids and their nutrition yesterday. Um, the more you give your body the things it needs, the more that's what it craves.
Right.
And those kinds of cravings don't come up as often.
Right.
Those typical kinds of cravings that most people would be talking about, they don't come up as often because your body isn't being exposed to a bunch of sweets, a bunch of salty things, like, a bunch of alcohol. Like your body isn't being your body will ultimately want what you give it most of. And so if you have been giving it mostly whole, clean, healthy foods, like you're not going to have a ton of those cravings for things that are not good for your body.
Well, and that's what I don't remember if we've talked specifically about it on this podcast at any point, but I don't know about you, but my taste buds have changed
Oh my
dramatically for
gosh,
the last couple years
crazily.
of stuff that like previously I would have had to like choke down because I was like, oh, this is not as flavorfully exciting or whatever for me. Now it's like, oh my gosh, this is so good.
Let's talk about just this week, right? What did I come home from the store with? You don't remember.
I
That I
are
ate
you
yesterday for the first time, but I came home from the store.
tuner?
Tuna. Why do you call it tuna?
I just felt like saying that. Why do you giggle when I say the word flatulence?
It's funny.
So is tuner.
Um, yeah, like out of the blue, I forgot about loving tuna and mayo. We use avocado mayo now, but and sweet relish. And I haven't had it in a while. And I was like, oh my gosh, like old version of me, would I be getting all hyped up on the thought of having tuna and sweet relish with a little mayo for lunch? No, I would have been like, ooh, gross. Ooh, gross. But no, like I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. But that's only because of how we've shifted our nutrition over the
Right.
years and how consistent we've stayed with that. So now that's the kind of stuff that we crave. Now, I'll also say that's not that we don't ever like, I think I think when you get to this juncture where you have made the identity shift that we have, where you have shifted how you eat for the period of time that we have, I think when you want something that that maybe used to be typical for the old version of you, it's not because like it's not because your body is actually craving it. It's like a memory, right?
Right.
I remember good experiences associated with Dairy Queen blizzards, Butterfinger blizzards, right? I
Right.
remember I have a memory that's attached to that that involves emotions and experience that I liked how that made me feel, and it's attached to that particular food item. Or you do just remember, perhaps you remember what it tasted like at that time and you want that. But more often than not, I think it's because you associate it with a memory, and so you're craving that. Because also there are certainly things that we have, like what is it, what's your favorite pie? Chocolate silk pie.
Uh-huh.
And when you have that, you still love it.
Oh yeah.
Like you eat, if you eat it like it Chris, like either Christmas or
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, he'll have a piece of that. um you enjoy it, you still like the way it tastes, etc. So that still can be the case sometimes, though, especially I think when you do have more of an association with a prior good experience with a particular food, memory, you will have it and it's not as good as you remembered it to be
Oh yeah, for sure.
because of
Right.
what you've been feeding your body. You're like, oh, that was great, but like it's actually not all that.
Well, what I found is since we've um really drawn back on sugar as part of this process, like I've really noticed how sweet
Yeah.
so many things are.
There's a, were you done? I'm sorry.
Well, it just like the biggest example for me is Pizza Hut pizza.
Mm,
Like I love me some Pizza Hut pizza. But the last time I had a bite of it, which was
a
quite
lot.
some time ago, I was like,
The crust,
"Oh
right?
my lord, this is so sweet."
Hmm.
And like before I never would have recognized that.
Yeah, you become hypersensitive to that. We there's a little juice stand in town, water juice stand, that's set up in town, and we finally went to get drinks from this guy yesterday for the kids. We didn't get any. Um, and the one that my daughter got, I mean, both of them were, but hers specifically, I took a drink, and we don't know exactly what's in it. We're great parents, but we don't actually know what's in it. Um, it's supposed to just be like fruit juice and water
Right.
and some sweeteners, probably. Anyways, hers was super sweet, and it was like, I wouldn't even wanna drink a whole thing of that because it was so sweet.
Well, and let's revisit that idea of we're super great parents because we let our kids have a drink that we didn't know everything that was in it.
Yeah, I'm
We spend a great amount of time being very mindful of what
yeah,
our kids eat, paying close attention to the labels and avoiding certain things and oils and blah blah blahs. That being said, like it's okay
every
every
now and
once in a
then.
while to have a Butterfinger Blizzard,
Right.
to have the fruit juice that maybe you don't know exactly how much sugar's in it. It's okay. The problem comes when you do that stuff over and over and again. And the way I explained it to Dax last night was I said, there are things that you're not going to be able to avoid in your life. Like you're going to get, I may have to have heart surgery sometime down the road. You don't know because
You don't know.
you can't see the insides all the time, right? But I'm doing everything I can through exercise and nutrition to help avoid that. And the way I explained it to him, because a lot of times our ranting and ravings of working out and eating right and whatnot kind of go right over their heads. And there's like, just give me the damn donut. But the way I explained it to him was I will give you $500 if you can score a bucket. Now, you have the choice. Do you want to shoot a layup or do you want to shoot a three-pointer? And he was like, well, a layup. And I'm like, exactly. That's why we are mindful of what we eat and working out and moving our body constantly, because that puts us in a position to shoot that layup to take care of our health.
Right.
Now, you may still miss the layup. Something may happen. I may have to have heart surgery or develop some sort of cancer or whatever. I hope not, but I'm putting myself in a position to shoot layups for my health for the rest of my life. I may miss the layup, but I'm far more likely to make that layup versus a three-pointer, even though I am deadly from deep.
Yeah, and, it's I don't know. I don't feel that subject matter, so we won't.
Okay, so we won't. What would you like to talk about?
What was something else that popped up?
15th anniversary next week.
15th anniversary is next week.
50th birthday in 9 days. Not that anybody's counting.
Yeah, some big milestone moments coming up for sure, and I'm sure we will talk about in a little bit more depth, maybe
Sure.
next episode. Um, yeah, I mean, we were talking about that next week, or we were talking about that as well, just as far as we honestly don't even know exactly what we're going to do to celebrate either one of them for the most part.
I know what we're going to do to celebrate both of them, and it sounds like this.
Um, but I think that's going back to what I said at the beginning of the episode of like, define things on your terms. We were having a conversation a couple days ago about our upcoming anniversary and just the different points of view or emphasis each of us places on those kinds of events or milestones. And we can probably talk about that fully on a future episode, but just in general, um, just a reminder that like you get to decide what your life looks like. You get to decide what things in your life mean. So like if you're someone that likes and wants to have big celebrations for your birthday, cool. Like do that. But if you're someone who's perfectly content with just having a day with the family and it kind of mirroring a typical day, that's okay too. And some people might find that like weird or strange. Or like, oh, like, don't you want to this? Don't you want to that? Um, you don't your definition of celebrating or uh I guess that's
Commemorating.
right, doesn't have to look like maybe what is stereotypical for everyone else.
And I mean, that goes for flipping everything. The we've discussed previously that Ayla likes to have deep conversations with me at bedtime. When I go to tuck her in, she lets me know various things that she's been thinking about, that she's worried about, that whatever. And the other day she said, she goes, I've been thinking a lot lately that, other people probably think I'm really weird. And I'm like, they do because, we tend to look at other people and
I was gonna say, and like
n-
B were all over
notice
it.
all their idiosyncrasies and like, oh my gosh, that guy's weird. I said, but B, like, we're all weird
Yeah.
and we should want to be weird. Like, you should want to cultivate a life for yourself, for your kids, for your loved ones, where they feel free to be weird.
Well, and that other people look at as like it stands out to other people because that's not what's normal to them.
Right. Well, and to a certain extent, it can be extremely expiring, right? Because you look at someone that is just,
Inspiring. Is that what you mean?
yeah, that's what I said.
You said expiring.
I said inspiring.
You said expiring.
Clean your ears. Because you can look at somebody like that and be like, man, there is a lot of freedom
Yeah.
there because they don't give a fig that you expect them to have a big soiree for your anniversary and you didn't, or whatever. Like,
Right.
we should embrace the weirdness and encourage the weirdness because that's what makes each one of us unique.
Well, and honestly, not that I live in 100% authenticity from the regard of authenticity is like I completely do. I would love to say like I 100% do what I want when I want all the time, right? Like don't ever let anyone influence. But that would be not true,
Well, yeah,
right?
I mean,
Like
I don't
still
think that's
working
true
on
for
that.
anybody.
Um, but from the experience that I have in doing that, uh, I'm happiest when I'm doing that.
Well, yeah.
And so my point is like everyone would actually be a hell of a lot happier if they stayed more true to their heart and the things that they actually want and don't want versus always trying to execute according to other people's standards.
Right. Well, because other people's standards are what best benefit them,
Mhm.
So it's like if you're constantly performing to that, then you're basically serving them,
Right.
which serving other people is not a problem. But if it comes at the cost of your peace of mind and happiness, like,
Well, and I think that's not to say that we shouldn't learn from other people, that we
well,
shouldn't
of
try
course,
out, because then
of
it would be
course.
like, well, why wouldn't why would anyone ever need like a coach or a mentor or whatever? Just like do your own fucking thing. Because it is, beneficial to have guidelines to try out someone else's blueprint. And in particular, people who have the happiness or the peace or the marriage or the body, the health, the
Right.
job that you want, right? And then try out the things that they have found helpful to them to help them get that, right? So that is beneficial, but
Of
it's really
course.
beneficial from the standpoint that it 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 speeds up the process for you, not so much that it speeds up you getting the results you want, but it speeds up the process toward getting the results you want from the angle that you more quickly learn
Right.
what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Right. You want to learn from their experiences, not live to their expectations.
Ooh, I like that. Well, yeah, because like there's obviously, there's plenty of people that have business success, successful
Right.
marriages, like whatever. And there probably is, there obviously is some commonalities, but you'll also find a lot of differentiation. Like that's why you have people who are like here are the 5 key things that help me build $1 million business. And you'll have someone else that says, here are the 5 key things that help me build my $1 million
Right.
business. And maybe 2 of those things are the same, but the other 3 are different. And they both were able to build $1 million businesses. And the only difference is it worked for, like, that strategy fit their
Well, right.
style, their brain, their situation, right? So it's getting that experience, getting that coaching and mentorship, and then from it, learning
Right.
what works best for you, what doesn't, and
Right.
executing those things.
Because learning from their experience will give you the tools that best fit your life. Living to their expectations, one of those people that built $1 million business may be like, my expectation is that you completely ignore your family for the next 9 to 12 months while you build this.
Right.
Nope, not going to happen. It's not beneficial to how I actually want to live my life.
Right.
But if you're living to their expectations, you're going to be like, well, all right, see ya.
Right.
And that ain't good for you. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe you don't.
That might work for some people, right? But
Well, right.
for other people,
Again.
like, that's not where we place our values and priorities. So
Right.
that's not going to be a strategy that we're going to be willing to employ. And with that, you also have to, I think this is every single day I'm working with my clients on the idea of ownership, right? Just owning your choices, owning what you want, what you don't want, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. And so that also could be a situation where if X is our goal, and we're being told that in order to achieve that
No.
goal, you have to ignore your family, then we have to take ownership and say, okay, we are unwilling to do that. And we
Right.
understand that by being unwilling to do that, that is going to either slow down or highly lessen our chances of achieving that goal. But that's where we get to make the decision. I am unwilling to do that. And I also understand that that could cost me when it comes to the outcome that I actually want. And I think that's where often people don't want to take that whole thing into effect.
Right.
They say, I'm unwilling to do this, but then at the same time, still want said outcome,
Right.
and are unwilling to accept the fact, like, cool, you don't have to do that, but if you don't,
Right.
here's a possible consequence of that. So, anywho, sometimes it's just how we roll, like random lessons and messages and
Right.
points of value,
When X is your goal, X gonna give it to you.
On that note,
Gangsterest white lady ever here, gang.
we've got additional shit to do so that we don't have to ignore our family. That's super.
Right. We get to ignore them.
Totally different.
It is.
Totally different.
One's a privilege, one's an obligation.
All right, we love you. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if there's certain things you'd like to hear us talk about, shoot us a DM on Instagram or leave a comment here under this video or podcast audio episode, and we will cook it up for you.
We will do our best.
See you next week.